This is the chapter number 7 of the theory of the transcendent reality (TTR) regarding the physic of the existence, written by Mauro Bernardini. The entry of a new EPE-Section-Soul into an underdimensional space is made possible thanks to the multidimensional portal represented by a specific EPE-Section-Soul of female type, already present in that space, while the stay of an EPE-Section-Soul into a crossed space depends on the path randomly followed by its point of aleph. At most, each path is able to produce a sequence of existential phases including birth, growth, maturity and death. Instead, the death of a being corresponds to the exit of its point of aleph from the crossed space, which is also equivalent to the exit of their infinitesimal corporal parts, which match with the EPE-Section-Souls that generated that specific being. When a point of aleph sun enters an underdimensional space, a point of type female that previously had generated an EPE-Section-Soul of the same type is therefore engaged. The female EPE-Section-Soul, acting as a multidimensional portal, allows the incoming new EPE-Section-Soul to enter to have its first material body crystallized, corresponding to a new being. Then, the point sun continues to cross the space, so generating a lot of new mature EPE-Section-Souls until the point decides to exit from the space. Before exit from the space, the point transforms its last EPE-Section-Soul in a new one of type PSV, that acts as a sort of tailor, also named spirit of the beings just died. This last EPE-Section-Soul closes the laceration produced by the point during its exit, and prepares itself to return to be the infinitesimal portion of the point just came out the space. This picture shows the same general process just seen in the previous slide, but in the event of a point sun that generates a human tridimensional existence. At the time t0, the EPE-Section-Soul becomes a baby human. At the time t1, the EPE-Section-Soul becomes a young human. At the time t2, the EPE-Section-Soul becomes an adult human. At the time t3, the EPE-Section-Soul becomes an old man dying, and next, at the time t4 he dies and his body remains in the space, while his last EPE-Section-Soul is transformed into an E5 section in charge of closing the spatial laceration. Now we'll see how does it born a human EPE-Section-Soul. To allow the opening of the multidimensional portal through which the point sun is asking to enter the space, two EPE-Section-Souls, already existing in that space, that is one of type male, and one of type female, are requested by the point sun to overlap their PVS components, in order to produce a temporary redundancy of PVS dimensions, acting as if it were used a pair of magical keys. Observing in more detail, we can see that, through the L links, the incoming point sun ask both a compatible point female PVS1 and point male PVS2 to prepare themselves to its imminent entry into the three-dimensional space. The 2 points, female and male, do overlap their EPE-Section-Souls components PVS1 and PVS2 in order to create the temporary redundancy, so allowing the opening of the portal 3D versus 11D. The point sun PVS3 enter through the portal, and, since it not complies to the SVP law, the point female start to create its body protection, made up of others naked EPE-Section-Souls which are instead the only ones conformed to the SVP law. The EPE-Section-Soul PVS3, just generated by the point sun, finally detaches himself by the female tridimensional body PVS1, so continuing alone the protected crossing together with its point sun.